star, got an Audemars that's worth more than mama's car. Type of shit make you wanna say fuck the law. When your rent's due and your piss poor, nigga, we don't even own our own corner store. So quarter waters cost a quarter more, Wanna be an entrepreneur? We want sign checks. We want work for ourselves. We want own the nets. You're too much of a threat when you're on your own assets. So the only thing they show us is how to be an outlet. So we won't connect. They say hi like hola. Listen to Hova. Whip up a Rover. Been watching Power. Tommy and Ghost, bruh. So I need some powder. Fish scale and soda for 99 cents.
It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah. See, the money is a motive. Repeat my history, crack cocaine is like the motif. It's plain and simple, way back then my mother hustled. It's in my blood, so I feel like it's time to grind, just like the times when niggas lied. Hold up, back then was the bad days. Motherfuckers push mad weight, I was a crack baby. Tell me nothing about my mother and the struggle. See, I love it in the sluggish, trying to spark when she hustle. Selling everything in the house, goddamn. She ain't give a damn about the spouse, goddamn. So my oldest brother had to man up, had to take care of us in the piece with 4 kids. And one on the way with no clip, no food in the fridge, on some post shit. Got food stamps from the neighbors. Ty work, ain't ask no favors. Late night, he was shot bodegas. Over bread, it's a me, some mayo. Kool-Aid had about 4 flavors. And when time went to cash out, Aki lashed out. Told him he'd take food stamps. $15 for that kid, fuck all that shit. Then the young nigga noticed that he could be the coldest. Take back what they owed us. Whole world on the shoulders. No food in the kitchen but the stove work. $10 in the sack and he pointed to the back, say, let me get that soda. 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. It's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense, oh, make it make sense. Yeah.
So let me get this shit straight. So I gotta go take out loans to go to school, to get a job, just to pay for the loans I took out in the first place. I'm looking at this Arm & Hammer like I should have a hammer in my arm. Shit ain't make no sense. Lord, make it make sense. God damn.
Baking soda's only 99 cents. Hey, it's hard to repent when you gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Only 99. You gotta pay rent. Baking soda's only 99 cents. Make it make sense. Oh, make it make sense.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm one West for life, nigga, this a blow. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a damn sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. Hey, they said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. Or if you take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death do us part. No. So So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guess, ain't no more question. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fucking raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. The photo, salute my nigga, salute my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. And I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that
Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with feet. Taking over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. And don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm wrecked out, tell them watch your mouth. You know we gon' bend your block. I'ma walk in time bomb. I go viral. You niggas like TikTok, yeah. This ain't what you want. Tell them throw in the tile. We make niggas hit the clock and with our toe fire, rain brimstone. They gon' think that you live a lie. We ain't got no picks. We want it all. We gon' make you pick a spot. We knocking on the door, so let us in. Or you know we gon' pick the locks. We in the field for real every day. While y'all just say watch, we making enemies our foot stores. Don't know nothing about a op. It take one try when I rock out. I'm like David when I sling shots. I'm putting attachments on everything. Y'all want me to connect the dot. This drum got 50 unreleased hits. You don't want to be the next to drop. I put them in a box and make that shit double wood. You don't want to be the next to flop. Yeah. Niggas feeling themselves. Get a shovel, tell them dig the pot. Can't fit you and your man's in it, just tell him get a bigger box. Cause I'll put you in one and knock you out one. Call him my nigga knock. I'll put your song on, cut it on you, and then tell you that shit was hot. Big soldier, nigga. Just give me a reason. Fuck peace, getting even. Won't beat with feet. Taking over, nigga. Let me make it clear. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. I'm about to start a fire. Whole team full of riders. They be dead on the ride, boy. Ain't gon' be no survivors. Big soldier, nigga. Come on. Don't care where it is. They want the cloud, we want the zone. That's the way it is. Big soldier, nigga. I come in the name of the boss. So my niggas that is wartime. Already wait the coast. That point shoot bitch. Red Dead Redemption. Got them niggas scared to whisper. Is you with us or against us? Can't stop to the zone lock. I don't think get the picture. It come from my head, I'm giving them lead. The preacher give them a scripture. Flow cold style vicious. Niggas sweeter than the missus. Got soldiers posted. I put them on your roof, Merry Christmas.
Shalom Israel, Shalom Yahweh, Shalom Shabbat to our brothers, Shalom Yahweh, Shalom Shabbat to our sisters. All right, so today's the Friday Hebrew class, Lashawan Qadash, out here in Arizona. Police Officer Victor Razan be holding it down today. All right, so today we're gonna go over the 12 tribes, go over the meaning of all the names of the 12 tribes. I know we know some of them. Right, but for those who just came to the school, we don't know. maybe been trying to figure out what the names mean. Today, that's what we're going to be going over, just to give you the names of them, right? So to start off, you know what I'm saying, I got written up here, the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Right here in the Hebrew, I got written Ha, Shania, Ashara, Shabbatim, Yashrala. So the 12 tribes, Israel. Like, so sometimes you want, sometimes the other is implied. You know, I was like, I think always see the letter there for the. And Ha, right here, it means the. So I'm gonna pick it on. I gotta put it underneath. So I got it written up top. So just know that Ha is the, right? Shania Asherah is 12. Right, that's how you say. That's how you say 12 in the Hebrew. Shania Asherah. You got Shabbatim, it'd be tribes, right? You got Yashrala, which is of course Israel, right? And so the reason why it's written this way, this how it would look if you were write it like in the Hebrew. Then we read from right to left, not left to right as you do in English. It's very different. So both of them is right down here. Got Ha, right? I'm writing in the ancient first. Ha, right? Shah, right? Yeah, so Sham Yah. Extra. Right, then connectors. Them then, of course. Yeah. Sure. All right. So that's how you would see it, you know what I'm saying, in the Hebrew, right? Something like that. Just like be written in the Hebrew. Ha, Shanya, Asherah, Shabbatim, Yashrala. Make sure you do your connectors so you know which words are connecting to make the sound that we need, right? If you don't connect it, that's why you don't see any connectors on here. So you don't need them, right? Because they all say things out loud. So you don't need the connectors, but just to make you feel more comfortable, put the frown face on there, where you know they say them all separately, saying out their whole sound. While in the case of like the shar and Yashrala, and so you're gonna link that shah and that ra together to get shar. Same thing you get Shabbatim, so you can see shah by itself, and then connect the ba and the ta, and the ya and the ma. Right? That's gonna get you shah, ba, right? So just in case you want to know how to say it in, how to say it in the Hebrew, this is how we say the 12 tribes of Israel in Hebrew. I'll say it just one more time for you guys. Shabbatim, Yasharala, Slakia, Hashanya, Ashra, Shabbatim, Yasharala. That's how we would say it. That's how we would say 12 tribes of Israel in Hebrew. I'm not too sure if everybody got that, but make sure people have that down some way. You go to a brother, sister, tell them 12 tribes of Israel in Hebrew to kind of show off a bit. Right? We always, I hope everybody getting the time to write it down. Good thing with online classes is that, you can always go back and pause, the video to break things down. Because if I'm in a way, I know how it is, trying to write things down and teach you like in front of the board. Yeah, so this I've written. Extra points for whoever can write it in the Assyrian. Right, because that's where most of you'll probably reading from. If you're a brother in school, you're a trooper. Obviously, especially if you're a trooper. During the Sabbath service, you know that you'll be reading the Lashawan Qadash in the Assyrian. So extra points if write that down and get that down in the Assyrian. All right, get rid of that. So today we're gonna go over the 12 tribes, the meaning of their names and what their names mean for each tribe. It's just something that's just been nice to know. You can always find the meanings in the Bible. You go to Genesis. I believe it's 25. I believe I might be wrong. I'll look it up. But yeah, so luckily, when you see the birth of all the children of Israel, they do go over the names, right? What the names of each meaning behind it. Well, what is behind? As a matter of fact, one sec. Did you look at that for me, sir? Yeah, get that for me. That way we can go over what was happening during the time that what each mother and Isaac was going through when they gave them each of their names. Right. Then we'll go rank in order, like who's older, who's the youngest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's just might be something for fun. We don't know. Reuben is the oldest. Is the oldest tribe. The reason why if you don't know anything about Israelite culture, right? Normally the oldest male child is given the inheritance, right? But Reuben didn't get the inheritance. Reuben should be one leading how the king come out of his tribe, but Reuben, sinned against the Most High by sleeping with his father's wife. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Reuben isn't leading us right now. We're gonna go ahead and get into the 12 tribes, saying who they are today and what the name means. Right. So just to refresh your memory on everything. Or if you don't got any notes, you can get in there now. All right, so we're gonna start with Judah. Right, which how you pronounce it in Hebrew would be Hawada, not Yehuda or whatever everybody else be saying. So those fake Jews be talking about which Hawada. Right, just let me know if you're having a hard time seeing the letters. The glare on this whiteboard is crazy. And so we know that their name means Judah name means Yahweh. It means Yahweh. Thanks. That's what Judah's name means.
And if I could, I got the tribes from the beginning.
Hold on a second. Can you give me what you say when Judah was born?
Judah.
Hold on.
So this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy fathers shall bow down before thee. Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. I'm trying to make sure.
That's what given about when they're all born.
Yeah. Verse 3 was saying that Reuben was the firstborn.
So it's the way it should start. You should be saying when Reuben was born first, and it should go down from there. Which wife gave birth to which son?
Come on, sir.
Yeah, which chapter is that?
This is verse 49.
No, you want to go back to I think it's around the 25th chapter. When it goes over the birth in order. 25 might be wrong.
This is my example.
what, Jacob and Esau now. Then it's probably a couple chapters later, but it should be it's not 49. Yeah, that means Yahweh thanks, and of course, Judah is the so-called Negroes, right? Okay. So-called those are so-called Negroes, or the black people, black people. I say however you want to call us, right? I'm saying their names different. Stands out. Okay, 29. Okay, I know it's somewhere around there. That's how you spell Judah, in the Hebrew. Like this, Yahweh, that's in the Assyrian. Of course, if you're reading for the day, you'll see it's like this. Ahead of myself. So you see, Yahweh, right? Right, move on. Next up is Benjamin. Right. Right. So the name in the Hebrew would be Banyanyam. Right. So his name in the Hebrew means son of the right hand. All right, and so Benjamin today will be the so-called West Indian, right? Everybody in the West Indies. So your so-called Jamaicans will be your West Indians. Of course, everything in the West Indies. The two we know that Trinidad and Tobago. You know what I'm saying? Everything was you look at the map, you see West Indies. You know what I'm saying? That's who was the tribe of Benjamin. Right? So make sure you always consult your map, man. You know what I'm saying? you can show you everything, right? But you know what I'm saying, to prove what we're talking about, you gotta do your research, man. Consult your maps. Consult the Bible. Is the reason why we able to pinpoint who each tribe is, not just making wild guesses. Ready to get sir? Ready to get it?
Oh, it doesn't really speak on when Judah was born. It just speak on
Their name.
verse 35. Yeah, just a name. Real begotten. I mean, when Jacob begot Judah.
But that's why that's a good name. Now I praise the Lord. Therefore, she called his name Judah. That's the reason right there. That's why. That's what Yahweh thanks.
You wanna read that?
Come yeah.
All right. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 29, verse 35. She conceived again and bare a son, and she said, "Now I will praise the Lord." Therefore, she calls his name Judah and left bearing.
Come. So that's what she said. So like I said, right here, Yahweh thanks. She said, I praise the Lord. She's giving thanks to the Most High for her son. That's where Judah gets his name from. That's why we have in the name Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? That literally means Yahweh thanks Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? As you'll say in English. You know what I'm saying? That's his soul name right there. That's the reason she got a name, because I believe she was that was her second son. Was Judah her first? No.
This is Rachel. Yeah, from Rachel.
Yeah.
Leah. It's from Leah, right?
Leah?
Yeah.
So I believe Benjamin will come later. Benjamin comes after, they sell Joseph into Egypt. So I don't know. Benjamin probably in a different chapter. We'll just skip it for now. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared with the chapters in which break down for which one. That was just something that was on the fly. Again, we'll give everybody the Hebrew, Benjamin in Hebrew real quick. That mistake. So you spell Benjamin in the Banyanya in the Hebrew, right? Bye. Just it. Yeah. So you got three connectors because you're connecting all the influence together. Ban, Yam, that's Benjamin, Hebrew, Banyanya. Right? We get you in Syrian too. All right. So in the Syrian we got Ban, Yam. So just for everybody who don't know, by this, if when you have certain letters right here, I believe it shows up here on the camera, right here in the Syrian, that at the end of a letter, their form changes. So mine's one of the ones at the end. Instead of looking like it does right here, it will look like this instead. At the end of the letter, at the end of the name or the word. Right. We have lawyer or Levi, right? Sister, can you toss those into
Out of the trash.
Sounds good. I'm doing
Come on, sir.
bad. Levi, you know what I'm saying? Hebrews lawyer. Right, and it means joined to me. Right. Levites are joined to the Most High. That's why you see in the Bible, right? Levi is the priestly tribe. They're the only tribe that doesn't have a land of their own in Israel in ancient times. Right? Just forget to it. They have the so-called Haitians. Right, so Levi lawyer, who was joined to me, right? Like I said, they're the only ones when it came time when they were going to the promised land, right? We getting Israel, we came out of our 40 years of being out in the wilderness. The Levites tried to not get any land, but their job was to be the priest unto the people, right? So that's their job. That they were joined to the Most High. Their job was to do exactly that, to be. I'm saying that's where we had the Levitical priesthood. I'm saying, which nowadays we don't go by Levitical priesthood, but the priesthood of Melchizedek, right? But this was for the name, right? Join to me. I'm going to get through that in Hebrew. I want the ancient and the Assyrian. Oh yeah, with the bigger spot. Yeah. All right, so there we go for it. There for Levi, go down. Next one up is Simeon, right? All right, then the Hebrew is Shemaiwan. Now means affliction. Affliction heard, right? And Simeon, some tribe of Simeon, Shemaiwan, right? And the so-called Dominicans. So this is a so-called Dominicans, so-called. Now it makes these two right being together so prophetic, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, the Bible is a book of not only of our history, but also a book of our prophecies. Now it comes to the tribe of Simeon, tribe of Levi. It's prophesied that they would be at ends with each other. So if you know anything, you check go look at your map. You check that map where Haiti sits at and where Dominican Republic sits at. That's where you have Simeon, you have Levi, and they're always at ends with each other, always fighting each other. You're Haitian, you hate the Dominican. You're Dominican, You hate the Haitians. You know what I'm saying?
Same land.
It's on the same land. That's prophesied in the Bible. Now, if I'm correct, I'll look it up. But I believe that in ancient time they weren't next to each other land-wise. But the Bible prophesied that they would be at each other's necks, pretty much. The kind of paraphrase, right? So that's what makes no sense. Once again, it makes what we do, what we teach, so right in UPK, because everything that we're telling you, everything the people that we're getting, we didn't just put this by accident.
Right.
And so we didn't just say, send me is Dominicans. No, we had to check the history and archaeology, right? We know that the Haitians and the Dominicans hate each other. They always fighting with each other. That's why they're right here next to each other. That's why they're right next to each other on the island of, I think it's called Hispaniola. I might be wrong with that one. But either way, the Dominican Republic on the same island, as Haiti, borderline going right through, always fighting, constantly fighting each other.
How you said again? Shemawa?
Yeah, Shemaiwan. Right, it means affliction hurt. I believe that Mother Tongue was going through a tough pregnancy. I might be wrong with that one. Don't quote me. I'm a little rusty.
That's a heavy
I'm
topic.
tired too. Sorry. Let me show you right there in the Hebrew real quickly. Once again, in ancient and the Assyrian. All right. One. Of course. It's a good time to show, right? Pay attention to when you're reading the Hebrew. But so, like I said earlier, when it came to Banyanya, how the M changes, how the Ma changes. Why? This is what the Ma would look like if it was anywhere else in the word. It was at the end of the word. This is what Ma is going to look like. Same thing with the Na, right? Right here, the Na looks like this. At the end of a word, it's going to look like this. So best to study because you will end up getting the Na and the Wa confused. So just know that the Na when it's at the end of the word is going to extend below every other word. Right? So just a good thing to keep your notes to remember. Like I said, I got everything written right there, kind of show you as well. But I feel like it's better to learn from here. We see next to the rest of the words how it extends down past. But it's easy to get it confused. You know what I'm saying? Even brother that are good at reading it, still do it sometimes. It just is what it is, but just good to know. All right. Just the sake of room, I'm trying to open some over down there. All right. All right. So next up, we got Zebulon. Right. Zebulons we have next up on the list. Zebulon in Hebrews, Zabalawan. Right, which means dwell with me. Too much space I took right there. All right, so remember for Zebulon, right? So the natives, right? Remember that on that, right? But I always know that when we say so-called for these countries, especially you start going into South America, just know that everybody there aren't the people of the land, just like here in the U.S. Right? Those you see, we call this place America today, but this place was first ran by the Native. We call it the Native Americans, right? You know, got Reuben, Gad, Issachar, and part of this part of this land up here, especially here in Arizona, California, Texas, New Mexico. Like Issachar had that land. You started reaching more to the east, where that land was owned by Gad. More to the southeast, you have more so Reuben in that area, right? Just as the natives. So when I say so-called, I'm only talking about the natives of that land, not the so-called white man that's there with them that rules over that land. Right? But for Zebulon, just more so-called natives, right, from Guatemala to Panama. Guatemala to right here. To Panama. All right, so this is who Zebulon is. Right? People that reach from Guatemala to Panama. Matter of fact, so can you give me no, I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna say put up a map on there, but the map of Central and South America, where you can show the people, give them a visual of the range of where these people would be at.
You want me to show it where everybody can see it?
Content. Do that. I'm just going to spell Zebulon real quick. Balawan. Right. Ba.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Got it, sir? All right, you got it on the screen share?
Bigger.
Oh, yeah, make it bigger for the people. Okay. All right, kind of. So, just point the map up. So, Guatemala starts up here, right? Right. See, y'all can you see the mouse?
Yeah.
Click this. All right, so y'all can see this is Guatemala right here, right? From here, this is going to encompass the people from Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica. Then you go to Panama. So all this would be the tribe of Zabalawan, right? This is to give you a visual representation, right? What we're looking at. So all this right here. So that way, somebody says, "Well, I'm from Honduras." Cool, Zebulon. you're kind of right there too, right? If you tell me that you're from Nicaragua, one of those places, that you're more likely you're going to fall under the tribe of Zabalawan. Right, you got Ephraim up next. We got, I don't know, put it back on me. So I got right here written the ancient and the Assyrian, right? Once again, we should just know that this is a knot at the end, of course, because it's at the end, it drops down further, right? Changes form. All right, we got Ephraim next. All right, Ephraim. right, which in Hebrew would be aparayim. All right. A lot of people like to say aparayim. It is not aparayim. It's aparayim. The the pa, and the ra are not connected. Right. So, you know, saying just so everybody knows, a lot of people always say aparayim. You know, saying you have to say the ra by itself. It's pa, ra. Yeah. All right. That's how I say it. You know, say it's not aparayim. A lot of people say it because it sounds better, but it's not right. Of course, aparayim means fruitful. Right? That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they are the so-called Puerto Ricans, right? That's who they are. The Taino Indians, right? Puerto Rico, right? You know what I'm saying? Or of course, you know what that means in Spanish. That means rich port, right? But it means fruitful. You know, that concept.
If I could add, it's heavy that you gave the meaning to Puerto Rico, rich port. A lot of us don't know what port really means. Okay, yeah. So like port is the docking place where they used to ship slaves back and forth.
Concept, yeah.
We come from the same lineage, the same curses, the same slavery.
Concept, right. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but there was some gold on Puerto Rico too that they took out of there.
Oh, right.
And none of that, but like I said, that was one of the first places where Columbus set foot. So everybody don't know no history. Remember, Columbus himself did not set foot on what we call American soil today.
Right.
Where he set foot was, what we call today Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? That's where he set foot at. That's one of this right here. People don't know it was the beginning of the slave trade. Yeah. This is where the first people be taken into slavery. We came a couple hundred years as so-called black people. You know what I'm saying? The tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi. We came later. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of that triangle, the triangle slave trade, however it's called. You know what I'm saying? This is a start. This is recorded. It's just not me saying it. History records as the beginning of the slave trade.
I know a lot of us, tend to think that a lot of our native Indians got slaughtered, but they don't talk about the numbers that were slaughtered on the other side. And why they had to bring another slave ship to bring the so-called Negroes over here to fight against our own people. It's just crazy how history, it's changed with the hand of the devils and the oppressors, man. And all we know about is their victories. That's why we have to come back into our law, statutes, commandments on the command of Junior Hana until Christ returns, so we can know our history, so we can know our identity and know our tribes. So this class is super heavy. So I just want
for
this class.
So you're right. So this is, I'm saying, I'm always a heavy class to always go back to talk about, the meaning of our people's names. I said, not only that, we give representation where they are now here in the world. Right. Remember, before Christ comes back, we were going to be united in the same slavery because there was a split in our nation. So if it's not now, then when? When will we find the lost tribes? Nobody cares about finding out who the lost tribes are, except for us. We're the only ones who's concerned enough with this bigger. We were the only ones who were concerned enough to figure out where the lost tribes were and who they were. Listen, sit down and take notes of Captain Kata's 12 tribe breakdown.
Right.
It's 3 hours long, but it's very informative. 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? That 46 hours that he didn't even get a chance to put up in there. You know what I'm saying?
So like if I could, and go and get that book. We came from the East, man.
So yeah.
I read that book. That book is so spiritual and The truth will make you free. You know.
Gosh, the truth didn't make you free. Didn't say you don't like it though, but it definitely gonna make you free. That's for sure. Like I get a little mixed up at the end sometimes with those letters that change up. But yeah, so remember, so pork means fruitful. Remember that so always remember that Ephraim and Manasseh were the children of Joseph. Just to give you a further breakdown. You know what I'm saying? They were the children of Joseph. So Ephraim and Manasseh, I won't say it, never mind. I take that back. Just to kind of break down, if you ever reading that chapter where it breaks down the children that Jacob had, where you won't see Ephraim, you won't see Manasseh. I haven't wrote on Manasseh yet, but just know that Ephraim and Manasseh were the children of Joseph. Joseph was in captivity, right? And you're probably wondering, like, oh, so who were their? So if he got them right, he had them right, and he said who were their mothers? Their mother was an Egyptian woman. We don't know her name. Her name does not matter.
Right.
All that matters is from her union, from Jacob sleeping with her, not Jacob, Joseph sleeping with her, we got Ephraim and Manasseh. And speaking of Manasseh, that's what you got right next under Ephraim. Manasseh, right? In Hebrew, is Manashah. Manashah, right? Which means made to forget. All right. And so Manasseh, right, would be the so-called Cubans. All right. So Manasseh, so-called Cubans. Now, and once again, up in that same line, you know what I'm saying? This is what they're called today by the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? The Spaniard is a white man, for those that don't know.
Right.
I know I like to get a different, but remember, once again, like saying, like my autumn was bringing out earlier, you know what I'm saying, how important it is that we're the same people. Why do Zebulon, who was Simeon, Asher, Naphtali, and Issachar, why do they all speak Spanish? That's one I would like to know. Why do they all speak Spanish? Asher, let me make sure. The only one that's different within them would be including Asher would be ones who speak Portuguese, right? In Brazil. I think Asher encompasses Brazil as well. But why do they all speak different language with the language where the ancestors was before? Why is this different? If those you don't know, you think that their language is gone. Some of it's still around. As a matter of fact, you go to like Oaxaca and places like that. There is a tribe that still speaks the Narwhal language. I think it's called Narwhal. I think it's called. That's the language they were speaking before Spanish, right? I met a woman from there who she knew very little Spanish. I'm like, well, you're Mexican. How do you not know Spanish?
Right.
She said, well, I'm from Oaxaca. We don't speak Spanish there. We speak Narwhal, which is our ancestors' language. And I was surprised. I thought that language was dead. Right. I think nobody was speaking it at that time anymore. You know what I'm saying? Just the fact that there's still people down there that still speak it. You know what I'm saying? It just shows the erasure of what the white man has done. For me, of course, I was in the world at the time, but I had no clue that anybody still spoke that language. You know what I'm saying?
Heavy right there.
Yeah, we got that in the Hebrew and the Syrian, right? I'm gonna show you, gonna get the ma, right? Now, those usually sometimes like when you use the Hebrew characters, It's not as long as when you spell it in the English. You don't have as many letters to use. Sure. Ma, na, and then sha. All right. Of course, I'm giving to you the Syrian. Sure. Mana, sha, and Syrian. There is no connectors in the Syrian. That's why it's good to know them both. So if you learn the ancient, that's not how to pronounce it ancient. You can know you can pronounce it in the Syrian as well. We'll need to get Syrian at that point. Well, honestly, what have you connectors? If you look in a Torah book right now, you see the Syrian, they have a bunch of different dots and things like that to tell you how to pronounce certain words. Right. But we're going off, our ancient language, not what the so-called Jewish people talk about.
That's right. Paleo.
Right, no, paleo. I'm saying real Hebrew. Right, for this four, we got God, right? So when we say God, just know it's pronounced God. All right, just let y'all know. But people get confused when you say God, so that's why we'll say God. Just know there's still God, so just spelled the same way. Right, and it means a troop, right? That's what God means, a troop, which is who God is. They're a troop, they're soldiers, they're warriors. You know what I'm saying? But also know that a troop overcame them. They will overcome that troop in the end. That's the end time prophecy. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, right? But God is the so-called North American Indian.
I got the precept too.
Johnson, you don't mind, sir?
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Right. That's right there. See, I'm not saying that's where you get the name from. Of course, you go back to Genesis 29, it'll give you why God was given his name.
Right.
But I just want to point that out, saying how as a troop, the soldiers, saying who are very, saying all people are warlike, but God is just,
Warrior.
He's a warrior, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's just it. No, I don't want to think any of my God brothers, some of them don't like to be called the American Indians, some of them like to be called First Nation, which is I taught me North. That's North.
What's the other one? Indigenous
or you got indigenous people. But indigenous can I know we typically use it for North Americans. Mm-hmm. That's anybody from North to South America. Right. Be indigenous. They used to do the same thing in Spanish. When they talk about those who are on the land in Spanish, you call them in I can't remember the Spanish word for indigenous is. Sounds the exact same.
Did you know so?
Did you know so? No, not that. Don't yell at me, people.
Yeah. Comprehende, hablas, sí.
Yeah. I think it's indiosos. I think it's something like that. But even then, there's separation. So not just because you're of Mexico, don't mean you're Mexican, right?
Right.
You're Mexican, but you're a Spaniard. No. God is just that simple, right? Make sure you get your connector up in there. Right. So, like I said before, it is supposed to be pronounced God, right? But people will confuse that for God. People get when they hear the word God. Right. So, we just say God. Just know when the time comes, we won't be using that bad anymore. We call them by the name they're supposed to be called by. We're still calling them their name. Don't get me wrong. Let's take all that out. I'm gonna edit that part out. They're the North American Indians, right? So give everybody time to kind of copy that down real quick.
I'm about to pull the map too.
Yeah. But yeah, so God, so this four we got Zebulon, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad. Remember, a lot of Gad are just trying to go back to their language. A lot of their tribes have linked their language to Hebrew, right? You got to ask yourself, why do they speak English? I'm saying you got to ask yourself that. Why do the North American Indians speak English? You know what I'm saying? That's where we gotta ask. Pull it up, sir. See.
Somewhere else. It's still showing this one though.
Good one. A little closer up. No.
Nah, they tripping.
Yeah, no, we gave y'all one. We ain't giving y'all another.
Right.
Y'all ain't about to be out here teaching people.
Dude, that's true. Let's see.
Can you explain on it or no?
No, that ain't let me. They tripping. Damn, another one.
Yeah. All right. Class. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So, right. So goes Zabalawan, Aparayum. I'm about to start saying it in Spanish. Aparayum, Manashah, and God. Right. And then the last four for the 12 tribes. Right. 12 tribes. The High, Shaniah, Asherah, Shabbatyu, Asherah. Right. All right.
So I got a quick question.
Ah,
So as we know in Hebrew, one word can mean multiple things. So how can mean the and of, or it's just the?
no, that's just the
Okay,
right.
gotcha. What's the of?
Says the mom. Let me just double check real quick.
Slack.
Supposed to know, but a little rusty.
No, so we can move forward. Yeah.
I thought I had all my notes on my phone, but I did not have all of them.
It's probably in that word right before Yasha.
No, the word before is Shabbat. That just Shabbat is tribe, then Yom means plural.
Oh. So that's probably it right there. Yum.
The one that's corrupted. It's probably the one that's corrupted. Like I'm halfway next time, sir. So,
No, I'm sorry, Chris.
yeah, no.
Send me some notes about the shot. The water.
Yeah. Yeah, so says mine. I had to look it up again. Like I thought I had all my notes on my phone. You know, my phone has failed me. I had some corrupted files up here.
No, I understand the oppressor's devil, sir. You gotta buy memory and shit, man.
So, yeah, you do all kind of shit. Bro. It's like it, my language.
Nah, I already understand. Oppression make a wise man angry.
Right, so next we got Reuben. Right, get to our last four. Why may not are big like that? If somebody who draws, you think I have a better steady hand, but I don't. So Ruben being Bond, right? That's how you pronounce Ruben, Ra, all. Right. And then Bond, Ra Bond. Right, which means behold the sun. All right, and Reuben is the so-called Seminole Indians. You try to look at Seminole Indians from me, sir?
Yeah, I got it on the map right here. Like Florida.
Kind of, sir. Yeah.
Check this picture out. I just wish it was bigger.
So that, see. So I can see, right? So this is what we call Florida was the primary home, right, of the Seminole Indian. Right, you have a lot of the tribes within the Seminole Indian was within the Rod Bond or Reuben, as easy people to understand. This shows all the tribes of their people that was there and how their home was Florida. Right, but as you know, the white man is the devil. A lot of them have been moved out of that land and pushed out. So a lot of them aren't there, but just know that's where they were. Right, and I don't know where they pushed that up. I know they were pushed out of the land.
If I could, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, everything south of Florida was renamed. Like you could tell by the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah.
Like all the way to Louisiana, it was called Florida.
Then it was all changed. They were all pushed up out of here and pushed into over here. This is part of the Trail of Tears.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? This is what's going on. Remember, this took them a couple years to do. This wasn't just a day and a month. It took a couple years to move all these people out from over there into where they wanted onto the reservations. They wanted them on.
Right.
Right. So we gotta listen, man. This shit is so it's like my language. That's so biblical, man. It's you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't see. The most I just don't want you to see, man. Some of y'all just talk about this. So about white man, he just wants y'all to destroy for what y'all done to our people, man. Giving us this bastard tongue. That's why English is just a bastard language that none of its spellings make any sense. It just takes from everywhere. That's why they have a word like knife, but the K be silent.
Right.
Like why is the K there if it's not?
Right.
It's not doing nothing.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Once again, you don't even pronounce the K.
Right.
It was just pronounced knowledge. Or pneumatics.
Right.
It's a P in pneumatics. Why is it there? You know what I'm saying? Or you have some words that don't make sense. When you get a PH, will sometimes make the F sound, but when it don't make the F sound. Same thing with the C. English is such a bastard language, man. This is why it needs to be taken away.
That's right.
We got this our bond, right? Right, a bond. All right. So make sure you guys up there in the ancient. Right here it is in the Assyrian. All right, I just turn it like that. Let's move on to the next one. No, I do not want to edit. Okay. All right, so next up we have Asher, right? Asher is a shard, right, in the Hebrew. And this means happy. That's all it means, happy. All right, so we got Asher next up. Asher, pull up the map for me for South America, sir.
You want just Brazil or the whole South America?
The whole South America be easy for me to show. And so Asher, so-called again, I'm just sure everybody knows. I'm talking about the so-called, it's just the natives, not the Spaniards that settled there, right? This is from the so-called Colombians from Colombia to Uruguay. I don't know how to say people you're gonna be called. Colombia to
The Alvis said make these pictures bigger, yeah.
So everybody staying in the region from Colombia to Uruguay. Right, this is the people of Asher. You're the pull up something, sir? They'll let you pull it up any further.
Yeah,
Just trying to play with me. Do this thing on its own. Check. Right. Check that one. Okay, it's not wanting to let me. Well, okay, y'all. Just 5 minutes devil, he not letting us look at what we want to look at. All right, let's be able to still see something though, right?
no, you still good.
Okay, there we
Oh,
go.
we use them.
Yeah. Scroll down real quick.
Bear with us 1 second.
Okay. So here, right, it says from Colombia to Uruguay. Where's Colombia at? So Colombia right here is going to devolve. See what it's going to be. Check for talk out, man. Yeah. So you turn that fan on?
That's spicy.
You turn that AC. Bye. Okay, so basically, right. So you got from Colombia, right? You're going to evolve. Brazil, right? So a lot of these places right here, right? We're checking. All right, so a lot of actually going to be these areas right here. You got Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, right? Paraguay, Uruguay. Yeah, Uruguay is right down here. So, so Uruguay is right down here, right? Not right here. This is Natalie right here. Argentina and Chile. We'll get into them in a minute. Most of the tribes that we're talking about for Asher are going to involve Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and of course, Venezuela, uh, um, uh, Guyana, Suriname, French Guinea, French Guyana.
These were the tribes were in there, so it's not the original names, right?
Yeah, not the original names, but of course, these are just these people that be involved in who Asher is, right? So that's basically most of South America. Right. You know what I'm saying? Just once again to give visual representation, because you're saying that from somewhere else that's pretty much where you'll fall at, tribe wise. Right. So give you the Hebrew real quick for Asher. Remember, there's a shar in the Hebrew. You're going to do your connectors. Should be at 2. It's out to get. So next up, so the Natalie, right, when you're talking about him, right? Natalie. Right, in the Hebrew be Napathia. It's like Napath, it's like Napathalia. It's like Napathalia, right? Which means my wrestling. That's kind of a heavy name, right there. Think about things that you wrestle with on a daily basis. Trying to fight your demons and everything. Again, just the so-called people, right? From people, natives and everything from Argentina to Chile. Chile. Right. And so there's Napathalia, right? And the Hebrew, Natalie, Napathalia, which is one of the few that's actually close to the English language. Probably easy for you to pronounce.
Oh, it's a good map right here. Sure.
Yeah, so y'all see right here. So this would be Napatali right here. So Argentina, that right there. This is Chile. It's got Napatali. A lot of these would be, the tribe that were taken away would be Asher, right? A couple of these. Now, just for everybody asking, well, my parents is Napatali, but I live in Brazil. My parents Napatali, but I live in Colombia. Just know this is just majority, right? Where the general people be at. This does not count for the people that in such places, because people don't know, right, is that you will find in here Negroes. Judah is amongst all these tribes down here.
Right.
How we know this? Because we know the slave. Because you know that majority of the slaves and the transatlantic slave trade, majority of our people was dropped off in what we call South America today. That's why you have, what I'm saying, people who like the people call Negroes or niggas, like they got niggas down here. Well, we know you're down there. You were forced down there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the majority of people down there are Asher, Nathali, anything like that. You want to pronounce it?
No, I was just pointing out that it's showing all the wars too on this map. Like Germany invaded them, British invaded them. Like, good night.
Nice.
Oppression. It's like, click on StreamYard. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So that was one word that's real heavy right there. Let's get this. Why don't you come here real quick? I'll copy this down. Nah. Yeah. So then put tha and a lot together. Get thaw. Right. Now put volume. Go through YouTube. Seriously, go right down here. Right, of course, last but not least, right? Is Issachar. Means you will be Yashakar. But, yeah. It's not bad.
Which map you on the show? Aztec or the Mayans?
Aztec of the Mayans.
That's good.
Probably Aztec. Aztec warrior. Right, and this means he is my higher. You know how hard can the Israelites work?
I forgot about Inca.
This.
Yeah.
Well, we give a general view. You know what I'm saying? It's probably it's probably. I won't say for sure. I'll get a confirmation on that. But stretch most of down to Panama. It's most of a Issachar. Of course, you go to get up here to the Americas too, and they like just contain it to right here, to just right here. But we know that the empire extended farther up than that. And so we know that the Mayans extended up into the Mayans and Aztecs extended up until we call North America today. Arizona, California, Texas, New Mexico. So all those places were part of either the Mayan or the Aztec civilization. They were all taken. Remember, at one point, remember the Alamo? They took them to Texas back away from Mexico. Then they purchased the rest of this, made a treaty which they broke. And we know that white British use all the time. I've got to put Issachar to so-called Mexicans. They're only the natives, right? Not the Spaniards. You have to make that distinction. Just because you live in Mexico, right, does not make you indigenous to the land.
Right.
Just like living in America,
Right.
does not make you indigenous to the land.
Right.
A lot of people I tell you this is my ancestors' land. And a lot of people I tell you this is my ancestors' land. No, it's not. The great granddad stole and robbed his land.
Right.
It's not his. No matter what he tells you. Right. So we're gonna get the last spellings right for Yasha card. Yeah. Here it is. Yasha card, right? So you got your connectors right here. Got your little sad face. The rest of your connectors, the smiley face, right? To connect them together so you know which words pronounce what in ancient Hebrew. Of course, give it to you in the Syrian as well. Because you who read the Torah, know that it's written in the Syrian, but you can find the Torah written in the ancient, right? So it's good to have both. Your brother in school, most times you'll be reading on Sabbath service, you're going to read it in the Syrian. It's good to know how. It's good to know how it's spelled in the ancient, so we pronounce it in the Assyrian. And there's a ra at the end, not a wa or a na, but there's a ra, right? So, whatever today, actually longer than I thought. But we went over today the 12 tribes of Israel. Right today, giving you what their name means, who they are, of course, how to spell it in the ancient Hebrew and in the Assyrian Hebrew. Right. The reason that's important, knowledge is just important overall, but knowing who our people names are and what they mean. Like the Bible says, there's more power in the original tongue. These names have more meaning, more power when you say it in the original language. You know what I'm saying? You say Judah, you say Yahweh, it's just more powerful than knowing that Yahweh means Yahweh thanks. Or thanks Yahweh, and you want to do it correctly in English. Right? Or just going to Ra Aban, right? Or Reuben. You know what I'm saying? All these names hold weight. Not that, but it also gives like the spirit of the people too. And say how to break them down. Of course, showing where they live at. That's according to now. We said we didn't just one day decide we're going to just make this stuff up and be like, listen, this is where this people at. Research was done to pinpoint where each of the 12 tribes were at. But nobody cared until we cared to come up and find out who were the lost tribes and where they were. Like I said, go on Cross Line Radio and look up Captain Kata's 12 chart breakdown and how each people got where they are, how we figured out who they were. You know what I'm saying? This is given to, this has been in the school since 1969. You know what I'm saying? Since, when head priest Arya, gave us a breakdown of where everybody was at. That was given to him. That was given him by the Most High. It was always been known that the prophecy is going to come, that we're all going to come together. Good to know where everybody's at, where everybody is. Know that who are people, who are not our people. Just because the person is Mexican does not make them a native-born Mexican or of Indian descent. That's why it was asked, who was your grandfather? My grandfather was from Spain. Right? They're not our people. That's not you. A lot of people get confused. People think they're just the so-called Afro Latinos or Afro Mexicans, wherever Afro, they put Afro in for anything. That's what they think is the people. No. Get that confused because Judah was dropped off in a lot of these places during the transatlantic slave trade, right? But when it comes to Mexico, we fled to Mexico during slavery to escape it. That's why you see, especially in North Mexico, you see a lot of our people there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure everybody's have this down in your notes, so you can all go back and study it, look over it. You know what I'm saying? That's where you can properly identify your people. All right, and with that, that's the end of the class. With the things. I'm pass the class over to the police officer, Tamakia.
So ICBK security announcements. With the ICBK, start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Room for new brother and sister. When new brother and sister comes to school, they're off limits for 6 months. They'll be saluted only. They're here to share themselves with the world. They need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from their head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. Find us the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. The book of Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th to the Hebrew. Ma'asra, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
Yeah, it's the upcoming convocation, of course. Next is the Lord's 54th annual Passover, right over in North Carolina. And see, there's 200 per adult. But come on, hang out with us. And I still got an amazing itinerary for the week set up, leading up into the Passover, which starts at sundown on April 1st. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, we're going to begin the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's going to be 7 days after the next day after the Passover. Right, so we're going to have a good time out there. We're going to have the beginning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread out there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be visiting slave plantations, have an all-black party. That's going to be a concert. Some of the best rappers in Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be good, amazing time. Come out there and enjoy the time and break bread with your brothers.
Sound crazy. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Black boots, black shirt, black pants, black headband, black scarf. That many Israel, Majum. Give a courteous salute to the teacher. So, many Israel, Majum Shabbat, Majum, Rock. Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat,
Y'all about to show
Yahweh Class dismissed.